I think it's the vigilance of the specialists, because mine was only picked up because my doctor scanned me over 3 years before I was diagnosed. I had slightly high cholesterol, and he would check me every year for cholesterol and also take a check for prostate cancer and one or two others, diabetes and something else, just in case. That's an extra expense for the doctors, but in my case it saved my life because the Richter factor, the PSA, was 3. For a man of 60 it should be less than 4. It was 3, next year 3, next year 3.5. Do you want a biopsy? No, it's less than 4. I'll wait until next year. Next year 7.5. Biopsy, sorry, you've got cancer. But had he not taken the trouble to do those PSA tests, it cost them an extra £12 or whatever it costs them per test. But what a saving had they not, unfortunately for Chris's husband, caught me early. I'd have had the vast expense of all the chemo that you can go through or all the very expensive treatments that you can get if you're high-grade prostate cancer. It's the same cancer, but right at the other scale, they caught me early. So through them catching me early, I'm now campaigning greatly for screening, because if you screen people, especially Afro-Caribbeans that are more likely to get it, people over, say, 55 can have a screening every other year. Women are screened for breast cancer and lots of other things. They won't allow screening for men. They won't allow it.
It's false economy because
Clearly false economy.
for thousands of pounds, and I would never, ever knock what treatment my husband received. It gave us that extra bit of time. But what the health service needs to think about doing is to try to be a bit more proactive and not so reactive. They can never stop being reactive because not everybody's going to be brave enough to go forward for testing if it becomes available. But it would save so much. And you're right, Barry, that is what makes the difference, that you are here, thankfully, but sadly my husband is not because it was too late.
So there's about being proactive and there's persistence and
You cannot
keep
let
going
it
back with
ride.
your kind of symptoms. Anything else in the sort of stage of diagnosis?
All I was going to say was actually back to what Barry was saying. I don't know if it's different in different areas, but my husband and I are both over 60. We've both just been screened for bowel cancer. And for me, it's like, thank God, this is prevention. So I'm sure there's lots of other cancers that we can be screened for prior.
I think we as people need to take some responsibility for our own health.
Indeed.
And a prime example of that is my two sisters, because of the family history, we lost our mum to ovarian cancer, and the link between ovarian and breast cancer is the same because it's the same hormone. And so as a result of a recent genetics appointment, we've been given carte blanche to have mammograms. And I've arranged to have one done for myself. My sisters, even with the family history in black and white in front of them, they're not interested. They don't want to know. So, where's the argument there, kind of thing?
And that's why I think, as an individual, because I had a rare cancer, and last year the statistics show there were only two other people that had to have vulvectomies. Because it is a rare cancer, we have to be so mindful of our own bodies and our own healths, because, like you say, in breast cancer there is a lot more awareness, and we have to take advantage of every single thing that's going on, and also to be mindful of our bodies. What we feel is not right, we need to get it sorted out, and keep knocking on the door until someone opens it.
So it's kind of parallel things need to happen in terms of from the NHS improving the screening, but also it sounds like raising awareness and knowing your own body and
Having
being
the information out there to
persistent.
know what sort of things to look out for.
Yeah.
And there isn't enough information about the lesser known cancers, and certainly about there being 2 types of prostate cancer. Majority of people think of it as something that affects older men, and it does, and a lot of them die with it, but not of it. But equally as far more serious is the one that affects younger men.
And if you have any symptoms, however mild they might seem, that go on for, I don't know, maybe more than a week or 2, then just get it checked out.
Yeah.
If, it's not better to be safe than sorry.
Follow it through.
does take a lot of courage, though, to go and face up to these things.
Yeah, I think that's
Which
what my
I think
sisters...
you're brave, Della, in taking it full on as you have. But perhaps for your sisters, it's just too scary.
It's just so frustrating.
For you
because
it
they've
is, I'm
got-
sure, and
yeah.
I would find it the same with someone else in our family who was sort of blocking getting themselves checked against the possibility of prostate cancer.
Do you have a sense of what might help your sisters in terms of to go for screening?
Good question.
Yeah.
If I think I knew the answer, I'd have
Yeah.
You'd have done,
done
it.
it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's-
Yeah.
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah. I think they're just frightened.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with it head on. You know, if they have. But what they don't understand is that by catching it early, you know, it's the survival rate is so much greater. I think that's the main message, really.
So
is
they're not
just-
hearing that message.
No.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.